The rain hammered against the windows of the old pickup truck as Alex Harper gripped the steering wheel tighter, knuckles white against the cracked leather. It was just past midnight on a back road outside Tulsa, Oklahoma, the kind of empty highway where the stars felt closer than the next town. He was 32, divorced, broke, and for the first time in his life, completely certain of one terrifying thing. He was the chosen one. Not in some comic book way, not with a glowing sword or a prophecy carved in stone. No, the calling had come quietly at first, a whisper in his gut during late-night shifts at the warehouse, a pull towards something bigger than stacking crates and collecting paychecks that barely covered rent. Then the dreams started, vivid flashes of people he'd never met, cities on fire, voices crying out for someone to stand up, and always the same message burning through the haze. You were made for this moment. Risk it all. He'd ignored it for years, told himself it was stress, guilt from the divorce, maybe too much coffee and not enough sleep. But 6 months ago, everything changed. It started with a coworker named Marcus. Quiet guy, always kept his head down. One day Marcus showed up with a black eye and a split lip. Said he fell down some stairs. Alex knew better. He'd seen the fear in Marcus's eyes, the way he flinched when his phone buzzed. Turns out Marcus's brother ran with a local crew that dealt in more than just weed. Meth, guns, girls who disappeared for days. Marcus had tried to walk away. They didn't like that. Alex couldn't shake it. That night he lay awake thinking about his own childhood. Absent dad, mom working doubles, the way the neighborhood chewed up good people and spit out husks. He thought about his ex-wife, Sarah, who'd left because he was always somewhere else in his head. He thought about the news, overdoses up, kids getting recruited younger every year, whole blocks turning into ghost towns. The next morning, he did something reckless. He walked into the warehouse break room during lunch, looked Marcus dead in the eye and said, "Tell me where they're keeping the stuff. I'm ending this." Marcus laughed, nervous. "You're crazy, man. They'll kill you." "Maybe," said Alex, "but I'm done pretending I don't see it." Over the next weeks, Alex became a ghost in his own life. He called in sick, borrowed money he couldn't repay, spent nights tailing cars, listening at doors, taking blurry photos with his phone. He found the stash house, an abandoned auto shop on the edge of town. He found the schedule. He even found the names of the girls they moved through there. He didn't go to the cops. He'd learned long ago that some badges were bought and paid for. Instead, he did the only thing he could think of. He started talking. Quietly at first, to a pastor who ran a shelter, to a couple of ex-cons who hated the crew more than they hated the system, to a reporter from the local paper who'd been trying to break the story for years. Word spread. People started whispering. The crew noticed. Threats came. Tires slashed, windows broken, a note left on his windshield. "Back off or you disappear." He didn't back off. One night, they came for him. 3 of them, waiting outside his trailer. He fought harder than he ever had in his life, took a knife to the side, cracked a rib, but he got one of them down long enough to grab the guy's phone. It had everything: texts, addresses, proof. Bleeding, half-conscious, he drove straight to the reporter's house, handed over the phone. He said, "Publish it. All of it." The story broke the next morning. Front page, names, dates, locations. The feds swooped in by noon. Arrests, raids, girls rescued from basements they hadn't seen daylight in months. But the crew didn't forget. 2 weeks later, Alex's trailer burned to the ground while he was at the hospital getting stitches. His truck was torched the day after. His mom's house got bricks through the windows. He lost his job. Friends stopped answering calls. Sarah texted once, "What the hell did you do?" He sat on the tailgate of a borrowed truck one evening, staring at the horizon where the sun bled red into the plains. Everything he'd built, gone. Safety, stability, even the small comfort of invisibility. He'd risked it all because something inside him refused to let the darkness keep winning. And in that moment, a strange peace settled over him. Enough was enough. He wasn't a hero, he wasn't invincible. He was just a man who'd finally listened to the voice that had been calling him since he was a boy watching his neighborhood die slow. The next morning, he packed what little he had left into a duffel bag. He had a lead on a job in Colorado, construction, off the books, far from Oklahoma. But before he left, he stopped at the shelter. The pastor met him at the door. "You did it, Alex. Those girls are free because of you." Alex shook his head. "They're free because they survived. I just stopped hiding." The pastor smiled. "That's the hardest part for most folks. You didn't." Alex looked out at the road stretching west. He felt lighter than he had in years. No house, no truck, no safety net, just the open sky and the certainty that he'd done the one thing he was put here to do. He climbed into the borrowed truck, started the engine, and drove towards the mountains. Somewhere along the way, the voice inside him spoke again, not in anger, not in warning. "Well done." And for the first time, Alex believed it. The rain fell in relentless sheets, turning the cracked asphalt of Oklahoma Highway 51 into a slick black mirror that reflected the intermittent flash of passing headlights. Alex Harper, 32 years old and feeling every bit of it in his aching joints, hunched over the steering wheel of his battered Ford F-150. The truck was a relic from better days. Dented fenders, a radio that only picked up AM stations crackling with static, and an engine that grumbled like an old man protesting in the cold. It was just past midnight, and the world outside Tulsa felt like a forgotten corner of America, where the vast plains stretched out under a starless sky, indifferent to the struggles of men like him. Alex wasn't always this way, driving through the night with a duffel bag of clothes and a head full of regrets. Born in a dusty trailer park on the outskirts of Oklahoma City, he'd grown up watching his mother, Eileen, scrape by on waitress tips and food stamps. His father had vanished when Alex was 5, leaving behind nothing but a stack of unpaid bills and a void that Eileen filled with quiet resilience. "Life ain't fair, kid," she'd say, flipping pancakes on a hot plate while the TV droned on about wars overseas and scandals in Washington. "But you gotta keep swinging." Alex had taken that to heart, dropping out of high school at 17 to work construction, then warehouses, anything to help pay the rent. He married Sarah at 22, a bright-eyed girl from the same rough neighborhood, dreaming of a house with a yard and kids laughing in the backyard. But dreams have a way of crumbling under the weight of reality. Sarah wanted stability. Alex's mind was always elsewhere, haunted by a nagging sense that he was meant for more than punching clocks and paying bills. The calling started subtly, like a distant radio signal cutting through the noise. It began in his late 20s during those endless night shifts at the distribution center, loading trucks with boxes of cheap imports. He'd feel it in his chest, a pull, an unease that made the fluorescent lights buzz louder, the conveyor belts grind harsher. Then came the dreams, vivid, unrelenting visions, faces of strangers twisted in pain, cities ablaze with not fire but the slow burn of despair, voices echoing in a chorus, "You, it's you, risk everything." He'd wake up sweating, heart pounding, dismissing it as indigestion or the stress of another argument with Sarah. "You're never here, Alex," she'd say, her voice cracking, "even when you're sitting right next to me." They divorced 2 years ago, amicably but painfully. She moved to Dallas for a fresh start. He stayed behind, drowning in the familiarity of failure. But 6 months ago, the whispers turned to shouts. It all ignited with Marcus Ruiz, a lanky Mexican-American guy in his mid-20s who worked the same shift as Alex. Marcus was quiet, reliable, the kind of coworker who shared his lunch when someone forgot theirs. One Tuesday, he showed up with a swollen eye, purple and angry, and a lip crusted with dried blood. "Slipped in the shower," he muttered when Alex asked, but Alex saw the tremor in his hands, the way he jumped at every slammed door.
Over lukewarm coffee in the break room, Marcus finally cracked. His older brother, Javier, ran with the Iron Serpents, a local gang that had evolved from street toughs into a full-blown operation peddling meth, smuggling guns across state lines, and trafficking young women from broken homes. Marcus had tried to get out after witnessing a deal gone bad. A girl no older than 18, drugged and terrified, bundled into a van like cargo. Javier's crew didn't take kindly to deserters. "They own me now," Marcus whispered. "If I talk, I'm dead." That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He paced his single-wide trailer, the thin walls vibrating with the hum of the highway nearby. Memories flooded him. His childhood friend Tommy, who overdosed at 19 on bad heroin. The girl next door, Rosa, who vanished one summer and turned up years later in a news story about a bust in El Paso. His own brushes with the life, the temptations to join up for easy money, the fear that kept him straight. The news was full of it. Opioid epidemics ravaging the heartland, gangs filling the voids left behind shuttered factories and forgotten towns. Tulsa, once a bustling oil hub, now echoed with the ghosts of prosperity, its streets lined with pawn shops and payday lenders preying on the desperate. Enough was enough. The voice inside him, that persistent call, crystallized. You were chosen for this. Risk everything. The next day, Alex cornered Marcus behind the loading dock. "Tell me everything," he said, his voice low but steady. Marcus's eyes widened. "You're nuts, Harper. These guys don't play. They'll bury you in the plains." Alex leaned in. "Maybe, but I've been burying myself for years. Time to dig out."
What followed was a descent into a world Alex had only glimpsed from afar. He started small, calling in sick to work, using his meager savings to buy a burner phone and a cheap digital camera. Nights blurred into stakeouts, parked in shadowed alleys, watching unmarked vans pull up to an old auto repair shop on the east side of town, its windows boarded up like scarred eyes. He tailed Javier's crew, tattooed men with cold stares, driving souped-up sedans that reeked of cigarette smoke and danger. He overheard snippets at dive bars, names like El Diablo for the meth supplier, routes through rural highways to avoid checkpoints, and the merchandise, girls lured with promises of modeling gigs or escape from abusive homes, only to be trapped in a cycle of addiction and exploitation. Alex dug deeper. He visited the public library, poring over microfiche records of old arrests, mapping connections. He reached out anonymously online, joining forums where ex-gang members shared war stories. The risks mounted. A taillight smashed on his truck, anonymous calls in the dead of night breathing threats. But the deeper he went, the clearer the picture became. The Iron Serpents weren't just local thugs. They had ties to a cartel south of the border, funneling product into Oklahoma's veins. And at the center was a warehouse in Broken Arrow, where the girls were held. Basement cells, guarded by men with automatic weapons. He couldn't go to the cops. Too many leaks. Javier bragged about badges on payroll. Instead, Alex built his own network. First, Pastor Elijah at the Hope Shelter downtown, a burly black man with a voice like thunder and a heart scarred by his own past in the streets. "You're playing with fire, son," Elijah warned, but his eyes sparkled with reluctant admiration. Then came Rico and Lena, a pair of ex-cons who'd done time for petty crimes and now ran a halfway house. Rico, with his prison tats and gravelly laugh, knew the gang's weak spots. Lena, sharp as a switchblade, helped decode the slang in Alex's notes. Finally, there was Mia Torres, a tenacious reporter for the Tulsa World, who'd been chasing leads on the Serpents for months but lacked hard proof. Together, they pieced it together. Alex's photos showed faces, license plates, deliveries. Marcus, emboldened, slipped him a flash drive with ledgers, names, dates, dollar amounts. The group met in secret, Elijah's church basement, Rico's garage, Mia's cluttered apartment. Tensions ran high, arguments erupted over strategy. "This is suicide," Lena snapped one night. "We need the feds." But Alex pushed on. "We get the proof. We go public. No turning back." The breaking point came on a stormy Friday. Alex infiltrated the auto shop, slipping through a loose fence panel while the guards were distracted by a card game. Heart hammering, he snapped photos of crates labeled as auto parts but filled with bagged white powder and bundled firearms. In the back room, he heard muffled cries. 3 girls, huddled in chains, eyes hollow with fear. He whispered promises he wasn't sure he could keep. "I'm getting you out." But he was spotted. The chase was frantic, boots pounding gravel, shouts echoing, a gunshot whizzing past his ear. He made it to his truck, tires screeching as he peeled out. That night, they came for him. 3 serpents, masks pulled low, bursting into his trailer. The fight was brutal, fists connecting with flesh, a knife slicing his side, blood soaking his shirt. Alex grabbed a lamp, swung it like a bat, cracking one attacker's skull. In the chaos, he wrested a phone from another's pocket, unlocked, brimming with incriminating texts, photos, coordinates. Bleeding profusely, vision blurring, he drove to Mia's place, pounded on the door until she answered, pale-faced. "Publish it," he gasped, thrusting the phone at her. "Everything, names, places, all of it." She nodded, eyes wide, and got to work. The story hit like a bombshell. Front-page headlines, local gang exposed, drugs, guns, human trafficking ring busted. Mia's article detailed it all, backed by Alex's evidence. By dawn, FBI vans rolled into town. Raids swept the auto shop, the warehouse, Javier's hideouts. 20 arrests, including Javier himself, snarling as agents cuffed him. The girls were freed, counseled at Elijah's shelter, reunited with families or placed in safe homes. Marcus vanished into witness protection, a ghost with a second chance. But victory came at a cost. The serpents retaliated. Alex's trailer was torched that night, flames licking the sky as he watched from a hospital bed, stitches pulling tight across his ribs. His truck was next, Molotov cocktail through the windshield. Threats extended to his circle, bricks through Elijah's church windows, slashed tires on Rico's van, anonymous calls to Mia's editor. Alex's boss fired him over the phone. "Too much drama, Harper." Friends distanced themselves. Even Sarah texted, "What the hell, Alex? You're gonna get yourself killed." He hit rock bottom in a motel room on the edge of the city, staring at peeling wallpaper, the TV flickering with news of the bust. Everything gone. Home, job, security. The voice inside him wavered for the first time. Was it worth it? Doubt crept in, memories of Sarah's laughter, simpler times. But then Elijah visited bearing a basket of food from the shelter. "Those girls are alive because of you, Alex. Free. You risked everything and won." Enough was enough. In that dingy room, peace finally settled. He wasn't a superhero, just a man who'd stopped running from his purpose. The chosen one? Maybe. Or perhaps everyone has that spark, waiting to ignite. The next morning, Alex packed his duffel. A few clothes, Eileen's old Bible, a photo of Sarah. Rico loaned him a beat-up Chevy for the road. Before leaving, he stopped at the shelter. The girls were there, tentative smiles breaking through trauma. One, a teenager named Sophia, hugged him fiercely. "Thank you," she whispered. Elijah clapped his shoulder. "You didn't just save them, son. You saved yourself." Alex drove west toward Colorado, the plains giving way to foothills, then mountains piercing the sky. A construction job waited, hard labor, anonymous, a fresh start. The radio played Johnny Cash, singing of redemption. The voice inside spoke softly now. "Well done, chosen one."